Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo May 7, 2022. If you've been feeling unfulfilled on an intimate level, this can magnify now, with the Sun and Neptune meeting up today. Otherwise, this can be a time of increased intimacy and connection that feels magical. There may be boundary issues or confusion over shared resources or financial transactions. It's a good idea to be more vigilant if dealing with these matters today, since Neptune can pull up illusion or illumination. Consider that if you're personally invested in something, it can be harder to see things clearly today. There is a tendency to stretch beyond your reasonable limits, and while this can be good in moderation, pushing things too far is unlikely to pay off. Kept in check, this can be a fine time to connect with your dreams. There are good conditions for love because the sign of Libra is passing through the 5th house, the house of pleasures, and its ruling planet is Venus, which in turn is in conjunction with the Sun, that enhances the beauty and passion of Venus. Take advantage of that energy to throw yourself into conquest. Share your passion, love, and happiness with those around you. Put your energies into a group project and work to create together much more magical and meaningful than anything you could create alone. You are not alone in the world, and you will find that you have much to learn from others who share your ideals. Be careful today. You could indulge in a moment of weakness with potentially devastating consequences. If you are in a relationship, you could be tempted by a forbidden passion, but this comes at a particularly inopportune moment due to the presence of Jupiter in your astral sky, which radiates its harmful influxes. Curb your ardor, and if you are in doubt in your current relationship, favor a constructive dialogue to try this difficult pass. Leave things in the past where they belong. This is especially true when considering the Moon's journey through Aquarius and your 12th house of closure, surrender, and unconscious patterns. Single or taken, you could be in the process of grieving or perhaps in deep introspection. Although, when considering the Moon's trine to your planetary ruler, the Sun, and Neptune in Pisces via your intimate 8th house of sex, collaborations, shared resources, and soulmate connections, this could also have something to do with the healing of a connection, even if that means both of you making the conscious effort to do so. How do you feel about your joint assets, resources, and investments at work? As the Sun conjuncts Neptune in watery Pisces today, your feelings may wax and wane. You could feel rather strongly about certain financial ventures, like a contract that is underway or potential investment. If you are tasked with something important such as balancing the books or taking inventory, then the conjunction could allude to missing something important. Since Neptune's elusive energy can distort reality, you should triple-check your details to ensure that everything has been accounted for. As the Sun moves into his final week in your financial sector, it is with a new sense of confidence after an alignment with dreamy Neptune here yesterday. This is something that can lend itself more to wishful thinking. In his early days here, Mercury is giving you the smart head for money that can also keep your head in the game and your feet on the ground. It will be hard interacting with people today. You overreact to the smallest things and feel completely misunderstood. It would do you good to take a step back, clear your thoughts, and start tackling the arguments in a calmer way. Your stuff should work relatively well today, and you should have no problem communicating your ideas to others. More than that, you will be able to communicate without speaking. You will simply feel things instead of saying them verbally. Your receptivity to other people's problems is strong, so use your receptive nature to help heal people's emotional wounds. Just make sure you don't end up carrying his load. Make some time for a new person in your life. Platonic or otherwise, new people are always good to meet. If the response you get from prospective dates is not always positive, consider how your approach might be improved. You may want to ask what you could change about yourself. Becoming more self-aware can help you understand what to change, or at least help you appreciate another's point of view or not. Keep asking yourself what health means to you, even if you found it impossible to stick to any kind of routine lately. Asking the question an important step in doing those healthy things, because in order to commit you need understanding. For you especially, there has got to be a connection between the heart and the mind. It beats the running around in circles game. Keep investigating where the food you eat comes from. You'll have the added energy from this day's vibration to accomplish most anything you put your mind to. Of course, focusing is the key, but with this essence, this will come more readily as well. Try the time-tested trick of making a list of everything you want to get done. Prioritize, and then tackle your list of items one at a time. Try to avoid distractions that will see you move away from your tasks. You'll enjoy the satisfaction you feel this evening. Our eyes in the sky. It isn't a time in which we conform to the ideals and status quo of society. To be honest, it's the opposite of that. At the forefront of our hearts and minds for the next 30 days will be humanitarian acts of kindness, generosity, and the notion of unconditional caring for humankind. This is also a time of revolution and technological advances. We can expect some news of pending changes that could transform our world for the better and help us evolve as human beings. Radical beliefs could shift your consciousness to better align with what is happening in the world and your personal life, as well as your current ideals and views, not those you believed in the past. The nagging feeling that we have misjudged someone or something dampens our confidence, and much as we try to pinpoint rationale that would give our conclusion credence, the more it eludes us. Our imagination can run wild now, which is not such a bad thing if we funnel our creative energy into a spiritual practice or a meditative or artistic exercise. Once this transit passes, we might even surprise ourselves with the inspired works we've produced during a time when we felt so out of sorts. In the evening, the sun exits grounded, pragmatic, and success-oriented Capricorn for the terrain of cosmic innovator. At this time, we build on the legacies we established during Capricorn season, but with experimentation and collaboration in mind. This is a season for outreach, networking, and showing off our originality. Letting our inner nonconformist out to play finds us meeting those with similarly eccentric interests, pastimes, and social views. Over the next month, we are less concerned with tradition or fitting into the crowd. We know that deviating from convention and owning our unique point of view is how we can make progress, not only for our own sake, but for the good of our communities. If placed in a leadership position, we will prioritize tenets like freedom of expression, ingenuity, and defying limitation over taking the safe approach. After sunup, the moon enters Cancer, ending its void of course which began early last night. At this time, we wish to offer care to others as an extension of our own subconscious needs for nurturance. Without support in return, we can become moody and ill-tempered. It is a good time to ask ourselves what we need from our loved ones, but since our emotions are at the mercy of the tides, we also want to avoid guilt-tripping or gaslighting others as a reaction to feeling denied.